Alright guys, this is Derek with OCDGone7days.com, and that's Beating OCD with Weekly Goals. So I've gotten some emails from you guys and I wanted to address why I send the links that I do and the emails I do. Some people comment and say, hey, where's the free stuff? All you care about is money, all this other stuff. So I wanted to address that head on, okay? I do this for a living. If you go to any therapist or anything like that, or certainly they're going to charge you just like, when you go to work, you're going to get a paycheck. At the end of the day, though, I wanted to give you some free OCD advice. That way you can see who you're dealing with, okay? You just met me online, whether through one of my free articles, which is over 500 that I've written personally. So if you'd like to check that out, it's ezinearticles.com, and you can search for Derek Soto, and you can read all of that stuff for free, okay? So the internet is great for all kinds of free things. But here's the deal. I've been through OCD. I had it since I was 7 years old. I've been OCD free for about 13 years. In the last 10 years, I've been helping people just like you be able to overcome it. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot more than, as you know, I don't know how long you've personally had OCD. I routinely talk to people that have had OCD for longer than I've been alive, and I'm 34, okay? So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to convey to you guys is that beating OCD, while it's not impossible, it takes dedication, hard work. Just like being a bodybuilder or losing weight or learning to play an instrument, the difficulty level is up there with like learning to play an instrument. You're basically changing the entire way that you think. And so the type of training, for those of you that have gone ahead and got my ebook, you've seen there's over 500, maybe up to 700 pages now. So you can imagine it's not as simple as 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, OCD would have been eradicated a long time ago. So I wanted to set the correct expectations about beating OCD. Now, if free information is what you want and all you're willing to invest in yourself, you won't get very far, and that goes the same with anything, whether it's bodybuilding without a trainer. Every good bodybuilder has a trainer. Anyone that wants to lose weight and keep that weight off usually follows some kind of diet like Jenny Craig and stuff like that. Psychologically, when you invest in yourself, there is a level of commitment that you're showing your own brain, okay? A number of you call me and feel like I'll be around forever and I'll work with you whenever you want, and that is not necessarily the case, okay? I'm not sure how long I will be helping people with OCD. There are a lot of ventures that I'm looking at and different things online. And this crowd, while I have a very unique ability and a very rare ability to help people like you, at the end of the day, I've got to make a living. I've got to take care of some things. And I can't make a living if people are expecting of me without anything in return. And there are plenty of markets that expect to pay for products and services. And I may need to go into those. So if you guys do like my information, if you do like my training, okay, if you're here just for free stuff, I'm not the person that you want to look to, okay? I don't get free funding. I'm not government run, okay? I do this for a living and it costs a lot of money to run a site. So at the end of the day, I really am looking for serious people. And for those of you who have called me or I've talked to, I need to hear back from you in a day or two, or I won't work with you, okay? The reason I do that is because I need people to take action. And so if you talk to me like, yeah, I'll get back to you whenever I feel like it, and I know you'll always be there and you'll be at my beck and call, that's not the case. Okay, so if I've already talked to you about your OCD, if we've already talked on the phone, I need to hear from you in a day or two. Okay, there's been plenty of time to decide if you want to work with me or not. But I need to find serious people that want to beat their OCD. This may be the last year that I help people with OCD personally. Okay, like I said, there are plenty of other ventures that would help me to make a living much better, and I can always, publish the ebook and keep that up. Just keep the ebook up online and leave it at that. However, I would like to continue helping you guys and helping people into the future with OCD. But I'm telling you right now, I'm letting you know that if you guys prove to me you're not willing to invest in yourself and you want help for free, I will have to do a different venture, because everything costs money. Unfortunately, the site costs money, hosting it does. Now, at the end of the day, if you see value in becoming OCD free, if you see value in living an OCD free life, okay, then you may want to reconsider your position on what you think it takes to beat OCD and what you expect out of people online. Okay, there are different levels of quality of help that you can get. I consider a lot of people have told me that working with me was the best thing they've ever done with it concerning their OCD. Okay, I've worked with therapists, I've worked with psychologists, okay, I've worked with all kinds of professionals and helped them to beat their OCD. I've helped many people around the world beat their OCD, hundreds and hundreds personally and thousands through ebooks and other trainings. So I consider your situation as this is the real world situation, is that if you have OCD, you're like in the middle of the ocean drowning without a life raft. I've been through OCD. I've gone to the other side as far as overcoming OCD, and I can help you do the same. And you need to give yourself about a year to do so. So I'm holding the life raft, and all you got to do is grab it. Okay? Now, if we do work together, just like in anything in life, there's going to be an investment. It is going to cost money. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. That is so I can continue helping people. That's so I can keep the site up. That's how I can keep the videos hosted. All of these things cost money. That free service that you use, Facebook, well, it costs them billions of dollars to keep that site up and running and programmed and up to date. It costs billions of dollars. That's why they have advertisements, okay? So at the end of the day, my site is not large enough to fund itself via ads, okay? So I'm really looking for serious people. If you have OCD and you call any professional on the planet whose help would not even be as effective as mine as an OCD coach, you're going to expect to pay that person money, okay? So I just want to kind of set the correct expectation. Just because you found me online, you please don't have the assumption that I'm somehow made out of money and I can help you for free and I'm the devil if I don't help you for free. It takes a significant amount of time to help someone throughout a year to help them beat their OCD. This is your OCD. It is your problem that you are coming to me to help you with, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm more than happy to help you with your OCD, okay? But you have to have the right expectations too, okay? So I don't owe you guys anything, but I'm here offering my expertise as an OCD coach, okay? And so here's some free advice. Number one is that I would ask that you grab a pen and paper. You can always pause the video and go back. But number one is that you have to stop chasing magic bullets when it comes to OCD, okay? There's no magic cure that's hidden from you, out of sight, that is just around the corner and you haven't discovered it yet. It's good old-fashioned hard work, okay? Whether you're in the internet marketing space and you're trying to learn how to make money online, or try to feed your family, well, there's investments for that too. There's programs that I have purchased myself that cost many thousands of dollars okay? And that's without personal help, like what I offer, okay? There are plenty of OCD coaches online that if they're new or if they're just starting out and they're basically going to learn with you, they might charge very little money, but that's also what you're getting in return in quality. When you work with someone like me that's been doing it for 10 years, you're going to get high quality results, okay? But you're also going to need to make an investment to do that, okay? So at the end of the day, consider this a more important investment than buying a TV at Best Buy. You know, you would have no issue with that. You go there and people spend tons of money on things they don't need, okay? So for free advice number one is, you know, don't have unrealistic expectations about OCD help. Number two is don't assume that you know what you need. Okay, if you knew what you needed, you would be OCD free right now. Okay, there's a reason why you're still where you are. It's that the kind of putting it together, the piecing it together method. What you're essentially trying to do is go online, grab a whole bunch of free data, and try to figure out a way to combine it to make a program for yourself. Well, that's extremely ineffective because you're taking one thing from one guy, one thing from another. Or even if you took all my 500 articles and tried to put it together, you wouldn't know what steps to take, okay? Because everyone's OCD is different. So the expertise that an OCD coach would have is to be able to talk with you, hear your situation, and then be like, okay, here's what you need to do. Through my expertise of working with people, real world, a lot of people ask me, well, where were you trained? Well, there is no training for what I do. You either have gone through OCD and beat it, or you haven't. When it comes to therapists or psychologists, psychiatrists, stuff like that, many of them have admitted to me that training is completely ineffective for most people. Now, granted, there are some people that find help in it, and that's great. Continue doing that, okay? But for many of you, you have searched for me, you found me because you've already done the therapy, you've already done the medication, you realize those things don't work. So number one, stop chasing that magic bullet, you know, because there isn't one. There's no little saying that once you hear it, it's going to click something in your brain, you'll start to get better. Beating OCD is like working on getting a brand new body, okay? Like, you know, from becoming, you know, with extra weight to having a six-pack. That takes a life change, a massive life change to do so. If you want to get from being lazy to being active, that takes a massive life change to do so. And certainly the same holds true for OCD as well. And so I'm looking forward to helping those of you who are serious and, you know, you just want to know, you're curious about me, you want to know more about what I do. And I thought that making this video for you would kind of help to introduce you to me and help you to understand, like, this is a serious thing, okay? Beating OCD is not a game. It's not a hobby that we do in our spare time. It's something that we commit to. Okay, it's something that we say, I'm committed to this, I'm going to do that. And we do it in a number of ways. We do it financially, number one, which psychologically, when we invest in something, it puts value on it. If you pay $1 for something, that's what you'll value it as. If you pay $10 million for something, that's what you'll value it as. Okay, so that aspect is very important. Okay, the other thing is this, is that you need to have the correct expectations about how long it takes. A lot of people ask me, how long does it take to beat OCD? The question I would use to answer that is, how long does it take someone to run a mile? Okay, it takes everyone a different amount of time. It just depends on if you do the homework assignments that I give you. Okay, A lot of people ask me, well, how come you don't have a list of just homework assignments for everybody? Well, everyone is completely different. And the way the programs are written, it has all the information on OCD, and you go through that information and write down what resonates with you. And it's ideally used with coaching. So if you call me and say, hey, Derek, these are the things that you wrote down that resonate with me. Now, how do I put these into place? And we take your life like a little jigsaw puzzle and put the pieces together correctly. Okay? So a lot of people assume or they'll misinterpret things that they read about OCD. OCD is very counterintuitive when it comes to beating it. And so something that may seem logical to you may actually be hurting you. Where something that you would have never thought of is what you need to be doing in a certain situation. That's where coaching is hugely important. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to leave this video here. That way you don't have to call me and worry about, oh, if I call him, will there be some kind of pressure or anything like that? All of that has been kind of taken care of here in this video, okay? So if you're not looking for help with someone, real help, that's actually going to help you really beat OCD, which is a tall order to ask anyone to do to help you with, okay? Give yourself about a year to do it. If you're looking for something that doesn't require an investment, I can't help you. So you'll want to just opt out of my list, because you're just going to keep getting the links from me to buy the coaching or training, because that's what you need to do next. You've already looked up all the free OCD advice. You've already done a million, hours of research. Now it's time to take action. And so that's the next step. So if that's not a step you're willing to take for your OCD, you can't expect me to invest in you if you're not even willing to invest in yourself. You need to understand that, okay? So do yourself a favor, do me a favor, because it costs me money to have you on my list. If you never intend on investing in yourself to beat OCD via purchasing my program or coaching, just opt out of my list. You just scroll down, click unsubscribe, and there's plenty of other, you can go and start the hunt again on Google for free OCD help. But I promise you, whether 10, 20, 30 years go by and you may lose all that time in your life, there will come a day where you realize, oh, I've got to invest. And I should have done it a long time ago, okay? And so at the end of the day, I would encourage you guys to understand, when someone charges you money for a service, what matters is that you get the results that you want. Beating OCD, that's a tall order, okay? It's not something that you can do overnight, okay? And we go by weekly goals. And you need to I work with people for up to a year, okay? So this is the reality. So that might be a little bit different than what you may have pictured. Like, oh, I'll talk to this guy a few times and he'll help me beat OCD, okay? Well, it says gone in 7 days. No, it's weekly goals, okay? So that's how we approach it, okay? That's realistic. So it does take about a year, okay? So allot yourself that amount of time. The next thing is that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you can expect different results. They call that the definition of insanity, okay? I would call that one of the definitions of insanity, okay? But OCD makes you feel pretty insane too, when you feel like you have to do something over and over and over again when you don't want to, okay? OCD is very serious. It's extremely serious, and we need to treat it as such. So I really encourage you guys, when you're looking at my stuff or looking at stuff on OCD, just take it seriously, okay? This is not a minor thing that can be fixed with a few conversations with a therapist or something, okay? This takes an entire life change. You need to change almost everything that you're doing and every way that you're thinking. We need to uninstall that bad software in your mind and stop playing that negative tape over and over again. And you need to learn how to reinstall new software to your mind, a new tape. New tapes to play in your mind. If you're in a car listening to a radio station you hate, you'll change it, right? But with people with OCD, it's like they're sitting in a car listening to a radio station they hate, but they refuse to change, or they don't know how to change the music. And it's difficult because you're dealing with something in your mind that you don't have direct control over, okay? A lot of people bring up the book Brain Lock to me where it says it's not me, it's my OCD. In fact, no, it is you, okay? That statement is really incorrect. While it was meant to make you feel better, that takes the control out of your hands, okay? Don't even frame it that way to yourself. OCD is you. That's why fighting OCD never works, because fighting yourself, you'll lose every time, okay? So at the end of the day, I just wanted to kind of set the record straight on what's really involved here, okay? When you do OCD, when you really want to beat OCD, okay, ebooks are a great start, and they'll get you very far. But at the end of the day, getting, from first base to third base and beating OCD, it's relatively easy compared to getting from third to home. In real life, that's the hardest step. That's the hardest part. Just like the hardest part of a diet. That's why most diets fail. That's why most of them fail, okay? Because people, they refuse to seek help for certain things they need. Every good bodybuilder I know has a trainer. Why? They know how to work out better than anyone else in the gym. Why do they have a trainer? Because they need it, okay? They realize that they need another person there to help to push them, to help to remind them, because when you start working on something, if you're learning how to play the guitar, you're going to have a music teacher, okay? Sure, there's a lot of people that have self-taught, and it takes them 10, 20 times as long. I help people beat OCD within a year or less, okay? It took me 20 years almost, okay? So if you have that kind of time, go for it. But I'll tell you, the investment in working with me is much less than doing a 20-year guessing game stretch, okay? That's more costly, okay? And spending $30 here, $20 there, $30 here, all around the internet, buying every little shiny object, you're actually going to end up spending more. Spending $187 for a therapy session, $97 for a therapy session, $50 for a therapy session, all these places. Again, it's going to add up. So in the end, by chasing the shiny objects, you spend more money, okay? Whereas working with one person like me, who does OCD coaching, who has actually had it and beat it, okay? That's the best help that you can possibly get, is someone's had a decade experience helping people get through what they've been through themselves. I've been through it myself, through real world experience. I didn't learn it from a book or from a class, but for real world living through it, okay? So I just want to help you guys to understand that I care about you. That's why I charge for my stuff, because I have to keep this up and running. I love doing this. This is my calling. This is what I was made to do, is help people with OCD. But you guys have to understand, okay? I'm on earth too. We're all on earth. Things cost money, okay? So I just want to use this video to help kind of turn off the people that have the unrealistic expectation that you're going to be able to get, beat OCD for free without investing anything. It's not going to happen. It really isn't, okay? And so if you're of that belief, just unsubscribe from my list. That way I can focus and I can stop spending money on your email, because each email costs me money, by the way. So I can stop spending money on your email on a person that refuses to let go of the fantasy that they're going to beat OCD for free without doing anything, okay? At the end of the day, no book or article or video is going to help you beat OCD in and of itself. It is a process. Books help, videos help, but there's a whole walkthrough that you need help to be walked through the process, which is complex at best, okay? For those of you that are still here watching this video, I'm not expecting you to, I have to buy something from Derek today. No, that's not what it's about. It's about investing in yourself. It doesn't have to be with me, but just let that mindset set in. It's like, I'm going to have to make an investment somewhere to beat OCD. And now let me figure out where I'm going to make that investment. There are different options. There are OCD treatment centers. If you've got an extra $25,000, maybe that's for you, you know. There are people like Charles Linden. They charge a few $1,000s for 3 conversations, but I hear he's very good. So if you have that kind of money, or $12,000 for seminars they hold and stuff for last time I heard it was like $6,000 to $12,000. If you have that kind of money, go for it. I don't charge that much for coaching myself, okay? And the thing is, for me, I could, but I don't, because you have to look at, it takes a long time, you know, up to a year to get to a place where you don't need help anymore with OCD. So it doesn't matter how, I can tell you the same advice that him or Tony Robbins would tell you, or other people would tell you, but it's not going to click for you, okay? It's just not going to click for you in such a short period of time. You're going to have to be coached for a while until it starts to click. Things start to click over time, okay? So what I would ask you to consider on this video is just the realistic expectations, to understand, okay, I realize that I do need to work with someone. Now let me figure out who that will be. You know, and my recommendation is to find someone that had OCD and beat it. It doesn't have to be me. You know, maybe you don't like the color of my hair, you don't like my emails, you don't like the fact that I charge money, right? Those people should be gone already. So for the rest here, understand, like, you know, if you go to a car dealership, you're gonna, you know, you have these expectations, okay? I just want you guys to have the right expectations. There is an investment, okay? So whoever you pick, there's gonna be investment. If you go to any therapist, counselor, they're going to charge you. So we know this. That's been established. Now I'm being a dead horse now. Okay, so that's established. So let's have that settled. So I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want that to be a question anymore for you guys. Like, oh, is there free options? No, that's not realistic for this. Okay, if you want to learn how to build birdhouses and things like that, simple stuff, you find a YouTube video. Beating OCD and becoming OCD free for the rest of your life. Not so much, okay? That requires a whole training for an extended period of time. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. The next thing we talked about, the time frame. Give yourself about a year, okay? And lastly, I want you to understand, like, focus on one thing. Pick a person that you're going to model. And modeling is finding someone that has had the results you want, and you work with them and pay them to help you get the results they've gotten, okay? And so that's very important. That's your next step. That's your next homework assignment. And again, it doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody. So I'm sure there's a few people you follow online. Pick one of them and call them and say, hey, take my money, be fair about it, but if I pay you, will you help me to beat OCD? Like, will you stay with me until I'm OCD free? Will you work with me until I get the results that you have? And there are many people online that will do that for you, okay? So that's your homework assignment, is to pick a person, okay, that you can invest with to become OCD free. And again, it doesn't have to be me, okay? But I just want you guys to have that realistic expectation so that it'll make their life easier. Those guys or girls will thank me. When you go there expecting to pay them, they're going to thank me and be like, dude, thanks for telling them that, because it is a nightmare for us, really, as OCD coaches, to have to deal with the unrealistic expectations. It's really draining. It's draining getting emails that are nasty. You know, it's draining because we charge money. We have to, okay? And it will help you. If you don't invest in yourself, if you don't invest in something, you are not invested in it emotionally. If you don't invest in it physically, you're not invested emotionally, okay? So this needs to be important to you, okay? And anything important, people always find a way to do what's important to them. Whether it's to get that Taylor Swift concert tickets. Some people spend $10,000, $15,000 in boxing tickets to see a match. Okay? Like Mayweather. People spend as much as a house to see a fight, excuse me, because that was important to them. How much more important it is to spend much less on something that's so important, which is to become OCD free. What is that worth to you? Just think about that. Okay, what is it worth to you? If it's worth nothing to you, you'll get nothing. Okay? If it's worth the world to you, I ask people that, and people that are, it's priceless. So just your homework assignment, find someone to work with, begin talks with them, begin negotiating with them to find someone that fits your budget, okay, to become OCD free, someone you can model. Now, I'm going to make my offer here on my side. If you choose to, begin talking with me to figure out what would be best for you, okay? I charge between $5,000 to $10,000 per year, depending on income. It can be much less if we do a shorter period of time, okay? But it's not going to be like the price of the ebook or something like that. It's a real investment, okay? The reason I'm doing this, it just helps to save a lot of calls where people call and have these wrong expectations. When you guys call me, you already know. You're going to spend a few $1,000s with me. 2,000 or more is what I would say is a safe estimate without having talked to you. If your OCD situation is much more difficult, okay, if you have extreme OCD, it's going to be more. If you have a simple case, okay, then it will probably be the minimum, which is 2,000, okay? So it depends on the person, okay? So that way, if we're talking, you already know what I charge. I just want to be upfront with it. It'll save you a lot of stress too, because when you're talking with me, you already know what it is, okay? So here's what I want you to do next. Again, pick someone that you're following online that you like, or that you like their information, and call them and start negotiating with them so that you can get their help and become OCD free. Let this be the last year that you suffer with OCD, okay? And the other thing too is, if you haven't bought my ebooks yet, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Okay? They're $97. Okay, that's 10 years worth of stuff for the price of less than the price of one therapy session with a therapist that's gonna go, yeah, write some notes they don't show you, and be like, and how does that make you feel? Tell me about your childhood. Up, time's up. Sorry, you'll happily pay for that, and you walk away feeling like you didn't get anything, okay? Nobody that's bought my ebooks and actually read them and gone through them has felt that way. They felt like, oh my goodness, because I over-deliver on purpose. I over-deliver on the ebooks. You're going to get over 20 downloads and it's only $97, okay? That's 10 years worth of stuff. And it's the correct information. That's the information that I want you to start with. So if you haven't bought that, we can't even talk about coaching yet, because you haven't even seen my information. My ebooks will show you what I teach. It'll answer a lot of your questions. It'll help you. You will learn so much stuff about beating OCD. See, you know a lot of stuff about OCD itself, but a lot of people don't know a lot about how to beat it. And that's what you need to be studying. That's what you need to be learning, okay? So I recommend that you invest in the ebooks at the very least. It's $97. It's nothing compared to what you have to gain, okay? Because you can get from where you're suffering now all the way from first base to third base with that, which is a huge step, okay? And then you can find someone you want to work with to take you home the rest of the way, being OCD free. Again, a massively tall order, okay? But it can be done, okay? And I help people with it every single day. And I've got 10 years under my belt of helping people with it, okay? So you can become OCD free. The first step, if you haven't bought the ebook, get it. There's nothing else to think about. You've been thinking about it for a long time. If you don't like it, there's always a refund, okay? But at the end of the day, that's the first step, okay? If you've already got the ebooks and you're like, okay, now I've gotten this far, I've had the ebooks, and now I know that I need to take it to the next level. I know that I need to get from third base to home. Give me a call. Okay, we'll figure out a payment plan. Okay, I work with people. But you got to start that dialogue. And I'm not going to call you and bother you while you're eating dinner. You call me. I do this for a living, so call me. Either today or tomorrow. Okay, it's very important. The people that call me today or tomorrow, the price will be much less than if you say, you know what, I'll call you whenever later on. Okay, it will be more. The reason for that is I want people to take action. I don't want to work with someone that purposely puts it off just because, especially only if you have the means to pay it, right? Only what's sitting on a credit card you're not using that you were considering buying a TV or a laptop with, or fancy concert tickets or something else. And maybe you realize, you know what, maybe that needs to go to my mental freedom. Maybe I need to become OCD free before I start buying stuff I really don't need. Only you know that. So you can't lie to yourself. And so if your priority is to beat OCD, it doesn't hurt to call me, because when you call me, I'll assume that you can afford at least the $2,000, then we'll figure out a payment plan from there and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm throwing out the life raft. You don't have to grab it if you don't want to. You can continue drowning in OCD, or you can grab the life raft and I can help you become OCD free. This is huge. I don't know what else to say to show you how important it is to become OCD free. Suffering every day and night, hanging on to that card for dear life because you got to buy that TV, or you're unsure. Call me if you're unsure, if you don't know if you can trust me, if you're worried. Call me and we'll have a dialogue. I'm not going to expect you to buy the first call, but call me so you can get your questions answered, so you can talk to your spouse, so you can think about it, so you can pray about it, so you can start that decision-making process for yourself, okay? At the end of the day, my goal is to help you to pick someone to invest with to beat OCD, okay? Pick a coach. Pick someone to work with, okay? Again, every famous and successful bodybuilder has a coach. As a reason for that. It simply works. The same is so much more important for OCD. It's not like lifting weights and changing diets and things like that, which still take a lot of work. OCD is all in your head. And it's extremely challenging to try to figure something like that on your own, okay? When I can listen to you and talk with you and already know before you even finish what you're saying the general direction you need to go, and as we get more specific, you'll have specific laser targeted stuff that's just for you to do. Remember, these OCD programs, I wrote them, okay? The OCD programs that you've read and you love, I wrote those. What better way than to work with the author of the OCD ebooks that you love, okay? So if you want to become OCD free and you're really serious about it and you're mature about it and realize, okay, yes, it's going to be investment, okay, fine, okay? I just want that to be out of the way. Don't let that stand in your way of beating OCD, okay? At the end of the day, I want to help you guys, but you have to help yourself, okay? By overcoming that hurdle of the financial thing, overcoming what will my spouse think. The only fear about I've talked to my wife or husband is they'll feel like I'll feel stupid, or they'll hate me if I don't get the results. It's not about, oh, you spent this. Any spouse is not going to be mad at you if you spent $2,000 to beat OCD, because they're going to be relieved, because OCD is a horrible thing to deal with in a spouse. Okay? So you can save your marriage with this. Totally worth it. But the only fear there is, will I get the results? Okay? So I have trial periods and all kinds of stuff. There's different things we can do to build that trust that you may be wondering, can I trust this guy? You got to start the dialogue by calling me. You can't trust someone that you never talk to, okay? So I understand that this is a lot of stuff to think about, and you may have mixed emotions. You may be like, I hate talking about money and all this other stuff. Maybe this guy, he doesn't care about people, he only cares about this or that. Don't assume things. Call me. I'll talk with you for free, okay? We'll talk for an hour for free if you want to, okay? And that's to help you figure out which direction to go to get help with OCD. I'm not going to do a free session with you or anything like that. But what we'll do is I'll talk with you and help you figure out what may be the best direction for you to go. So when you call me after watching this, okay, there's nothing to buy. Unless you call me and say, hey, I've been thinking about it for a while and I want to buy your OCD coaching. What kind of payment plans can we do, right? But that only if you bring that up. If you call me and you have questions, or if you're like, hey, what direction should I go? We'll figure that out, okay? But it's not gonna be a sales call or anything like that. All that stuff, which I hate talking about, was done here on this video right now, so it's out of the way. So now when you call me, it's if you wanna get to know me more, if you wanna say, hey, can I trust this guy? Give me a call. That's how you start trusting people, is with a dialogue, okay? Can this guy really help me? Can I get results with his program? You got to start talking with me so that you can see for yourself if that's the case, okay? So it has to start somewhere. So this is my invitation to you. I'm taking the first step toward you becoming OCD free by sending this video, talking about the hard stuff nobody wants to talk about. Now it's your turn. Call me back. I've taken one step toward you. Call me. Take one step toward me. And see if I'm a person that you can know, like, and trust. And see if I'm a person that you would want to be as an OCD coach, and I'll simultaneously see if you're a person that I want to work with, okay? Because it is a commitment on my side too, to commit a year of my life helping you. So I'm gonna want to be sure that you're someone I want to work with as well. But either way, just keep in mind, life every day gets a little shorter and shorter. Don't waste another day hemming and hawing and wondering. Take some kind of action. Calling me today and figuring out which direction to go is a good start. I'm not going to sell you anything, okay? The only way we'll talk about my coaching is if you bring it up on this call, okay? It's a free call. Call me and I'll help you figure out the best direction for you. And sometimes it's not working with me, okay? Sometimes it's working with somebody else. I know a lot of other people, or it might be a medication, which you can talk to a doctor about, or there could be a coaching program, or other things. I'll help you figure out the next direction so that you don't have to keep going to Google day after day and suffering with this OCD. Something has to give, something has to change. I'm inviting you to change what you're doing. Give me a call for free today, okay? Where we'll talk about the best direction. I'll help you figure out what the best direction may be for you, all right? So I look forward to talking with you, and please take some kind of action today, okay? Because the action that we take today determine what our tomorrow looks like, if we have that tomorrow. So let's make sure that we take some kind of action today so we spend the rest of our life, whether it's 2 months or 20 years or more. We want to spend as much of our time as we can, our very precious minutes, OCD free. So that's why I'm making this video urgently. I'm urging you, please don't let yourself suffer day after day with OCD. You don't have to. All right, talk to you soon. God bless.